everyone, and welcome back to Art with Mrs. S. Today we're going to be practicing how to use oil pastels. If you've never used oil pastels, they're very similar to crayons but a lot softer, and you can layer and blend with them. So this is my set. I have 16. You don't need that many for today's lesson. A lot of these come in 8, 10 packs, 12, you name it. But this is kind of what they look like. And you'll notice they have paper on them just like crayons too, but they have a flat tip to them. And I'm looking at these, they're kind of gooey. It is a smart idea to try to keep the paper on, otherwise you'll get the oil pastels in your fingers. If it does come off over time, you can use like a Kleenex to hold them or a piece of paper to hold them so that you're not getting that grimy kind of texture on your fingers. We are going to be drawing today first, and then we're going to be practicing how to use our oil pastels. So what you're going to need first is a piece of paper and a pencil to get started. On my paper here, I want to draw either like a circle or an oval. And I'm going to kind of dip in, come back out, dip in, and come back out. Those curvies that we practiced last week are going to come in handy. Mine's kind of lopsided, and that's okay. This is going to turn into an apple here very shortly. My apple also needs a stem. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to thicken it up a little bit, so I'm going to go over and down. My apple's also going to have a leaf. We don't always see them with leaves in the grocery store when you go to eat them, but we're going to add a leaf to it if you can. Add a curvy, a line down the center you can. And then I'm going to do two more things here. I'm going to draw a circle kind of in that bigger part of my apple, and then on the bottom, make a shadow. So now I have the outline for my apple, and this apple is going to help me today when I go to draw with my oil pastels. I'm going to start easy. I'm going to use a white first. If you don't have a white, maybe use another lighter color like a light yellow or light orange. And I'm going to squish that into that circle that I made. That's going to be like a reflection or a highlight. And you'll see it's kind of already making that pencil mark go away. I'm going to kind of squish around. I don't have to press too hard. You'll see that it starts to squish down and go away very quickly. I'm going to switch over to my brown if you have a brown. I have two different browns, light brown, dark brown. If you don't have a brown, maybe use black or gray and color in that apple stem. Just kind of getting a feel for how oil pastels work, and you don't have to press very hard, which is great. And then now I'm going to switch over to green and do my leaf. I have two greens in here, I might only have one. I could fill in this whole part here. What's great is they're nice and smooth, and they kind of glide on your paper. That's all green. All the way to the top. You'll notice too, I'm trying to keep my hands up. You don't want to lay your hand or squish it in these because they will smudge or smear on your paper. Now I have to decide, do I want a red apple? Do I want an orange apple? Do I want yellow? Do I want green in there? Maybe mine's kind of blended, so I might see different lines and different colors inside of my apple. So let's go ahead and start with red. I like green apples more, but I'm going to go ahead and put some red in here. I'm going to kind of draw some lines down, all inside of the apple, no scribble scrabble. I could color this all red. I can do some of it red and blend in my other apple color. Notice I'm not going to color over top of that white spot. Leave that empty. Up, 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 up. I'm going up and down because I'm following kind of that shape or size of the apple and doing those marks and coloring at the same time. The more layers I do, the thicker and the more oil pastel that'll be on my paper. So if I want it brighter and darker, I'm going to have more oil pastel build up, just like we do with crayons. Crayons just aren't quite as smooth. I can blend in other colors, like I said, so maybe I want a little yellow in my apple. So I can color right on top, and you can notice when I hit that red, just like when I paint, it's going to blend those two colors together. And then the areas where I don't have red, I'll start to see that yellow all by its own. You can see I got some of that red picked up on there, just like I would when I'm painting with a paintbrush and I hit another color. I'm going to blend and fill in that white space. I'm still going up and down. I'm being very careful not to press too hard so I'm breaking my oil pastels. I'm not laying my hand on my art and dragging it across and getting those smudgies. Blend, 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 no white space. I'm still going up and down so I don't see those scribble scrabble marks. Go around that circle again. You can even see it blending with that white that I added first. And go all the way to the top of my apple. If I missed an area, I can go back and press and fill in. If you want to add any other colors, you can that are apple colors. So maybe I can add in a little orange. But if you notice too, where that red and yellow touched, it already made a little orange. I can go in and add some orange on top if I want in those little white areas. If I have too much oil pastel in areas, you won't see it because it's already built up so much of that gooey stuff. If I want to touch up and do a little green in there, I can. I kind of like how the red and orange and yellows look. If you want to add a little green, you may. And then the last thing I have to color today, you'll notice, is that kind of blob at the bottom, that shadow of my apple. I might want to do a dark color in there. So you could do a gray, you could do black. And I save that for last because it's kind of where my hand lays when I'm coloring, so I don't smudge. And I'm going to kind of show you, when you smudge, it kind of gets all over the place. So we're going to leave that alone. Black's a really dark color. I try to save those dark colors for last. That black I can blend and color, trying to stay inside the lines. If you kind of go over top of your marks, it can make it easier to go inside of those colors very quickly. Color, 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 and fill in until I have my apple blended. I have my highlight, that white part of my apple. I have my stem, and I have my leaf. I can't wait to see all your pictures of your apples today. Don't forget to post them to Padlet, and I hope you enjoyed exploring with oil pastels today.